Hi everyone, Heather Howard, Executive Director of the Conception Bay Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm doing another video update today because it does seem like the most effective way for me to gather information and share information. While I would love to write it, that process is just takes too long, and oftentimes by the time I could get it out there in writing, it has already changed. So this morning I was on a webinar that the St. John's Board of Trade put off, and it was around the topic was commercial landlords and tenants, and the speaker was Charlie Oliver with Martek. Um, so Charlie basically was sharing best practices that he was coaching landlords on in St. John's, and I wanted to share this little bit of information to see if maybe landlords and tenants in our area might find it useful. I'm actually looking at the presentation points that Charlie sent. So forgive me if I am basically reading. So essentially, we chatted in the beginning about this presentation was directed towards landlords. Okay, so essentially, when we look at this entire situation, landlords are business owners as well as the tenants are business owners. And when we look at the big picture, tenants want to keep, or landlords want to keep tenants in their space. They do. So Charlie suggested approaching the situation with empathy and to be focused on a win-win rearrangement. And he talked about using creative, workable solutions. So, three options that came up were a suggestion to look at as a business owner and a tenant, to look at your business interruption insurance. And Charlie shared that as of last night, in the research with insurance companies that they have been doing, that there was no grounds, it's very unlikely that your business interruption insurance will cover you in this situation. But he did recommend to check out that clause in your insurance. So if you are a business owner, do check out your business interruption insurance clause. Also, he talked about the importance of clearly identifying on paper if you are renegotiating your terms of your lease agreement, to make sure that you do have that clearly stated on paper for both parties. It seems that what some landlords in St. John's are doing right now is they are deferring the net rent for a 3-month period. So what will happen is there is a difference between net rent and gross rent. So they're deferring the net rent for 3 months, and that is being repaid over a negotiated time, which is typically between 9 and 12 months. Most landlords are also doing this interest free. Another creative option for tenants with a lease expiry in the near term, so say 1, 2, or even 3 years left on your term, that landlords and tenants could negotiate a lease extension, and that the terms and rates would be mutually agreed upon, and then offer free rent now for possibly the next 3 months, and to proportionate the extension period, proportionate to the extension period. Yeah, so free rent for 3 months, 4 months, whatever makes sense based on the lease term being extended. So that's kind of a creative option. Then he did mention another option for in some lease agreements, some landlords and tenants have a free month rent agreement already built in. So if there's a free month already built into your yearly rent, then what you could do is say, okay, so for 2021, 22, 23, those 3 free months, you can use them now and not get them in the future. So that was just some creative ideas that were just shared by Charlie when it comes to, trying to work through this together, essentially. So he did give some guidance if a tenant is closed, to some guidance there. But if you want information on that, I'm sure if you are a landlord, you already probably know what things that your tenants need to keep in mind if they are closed. If you are a business owner, make sure that he did mention making sure that you check your insurance, to make sure that you're checking in on your business in the right period of time as outlined in your insurance. So say it's every 4 days you need to be checking in on your property for damages and things like that. So you're going to want to make sure that you're checking in on your business. And again, I think that you probably know that. Okay, so now I'm going to shift to a document that I received from one of our members that outlines we had hoped we'd get a little bit more information about the wage subsidy today, but we didn't get a lot. So so grateful to Seaview Accounting for sending me this update. They summarized what was said today about the wage subsidies. So thanks Tony and Teresa over at Seaview Accounting. So I'm just going to read what Tony sent me. So the wage subsidy has now been renamed the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy, CEWS. Private companies, not-for-profit organizations, and registered charities will all qualify for the program, and eligibility will not be impacted by the size of the organization. In order to qualify, organizations must have experienced a 30% reduction to revenue, but there is no indication how this will be measured at this time. This program will cover up to 75% of the employee's wages on the first $58,700 of annual pay. So that's $58,700. This essentially means that the maximum amount that will be paid out per employee is $847 weekly. The government has indicated that they will process payments first and then verify the validity of claims after thorough and unannounced verification process. The government has also indicated that they hope employers will continue to cover the remaining 25% of salaries if they have the means to do so. I know that was a question last night, and we're getting a little more clarity on that, it is optional. The Canada Emergency Business Account, the CEAB, will provide interest-free loans up to $40,000 to assist small businesses and not-for-profits. The government has stated that this is meant to assist companies who will have had revenues temporarily reduced. They also state that these organizations will need to demonstrate that they have paid between $50,000 to $1 million in total payroll in 2019. These loans will be issued through the Business Development Bank of Canada, BDC, and Export Development Canada, EDC, or through other financial institutions working with these entities. There have been other programs discussed, but very little information available. The federal finance minister is expected to announce further detail on these measures in tomorrow's press conference. So that summary was again provided by Tony McGuire, and Tony is one of our new members with Seaview Accounting. He's a CPA, CMA. So with that being said, no real big updates. Also, I would like to update you on our COVID-19 microsite with the chamber. Been basically spent the entire day, aside from trying to check in on the updates to gather information. I spent a lot of time on the website, and I'm going to give you a little lowdown now. I'm going to share my screen so you can see what's happening and how you can utilize this tool for your business as we move forward with the changes that are sure to come. I think it's really important that our essential business owners are able to provide the highest level of service to our residents in our communities, and also while obviously keeping their staff safe and adhering to the ever so changing measures outlined daily in regards to our public health emergency right now. That is the most important thing. People do need their supplies, but the most important thing is that we stay home and we get our supplies week over week, as was said again today. It is really important. And also, so we have our essential businesses, but then we also have our businesses who have changed the way that they operate their business. Their retail businesses are still allowed to operate if you are able to operate in a different manner, which includes curbside pickups, online shopping, deliveries, things like that. That is available to our other retail businesses that have been closed down. So if you haven't seen the details about that, I do have it linked on our website. It's just a document that says you can still operate, but operate differently. And if you want to chat about creative solutions for your retail business, feel free to reach out. I would love to, and your service business. We do have businesses that have shifted and changed and are still offering their services, and they're still working from home. So through this directory, we hope to connect businesses with businesses as well as businesses with our residents. So I'm going to share some information now with a screen share. So here is what the business directory will look like by tomorrow, hopefully. Residents will be able to search for what they're looking for, and this search bar is keyword enabled. So basically what that means is if your business is selling something that a customer may not realize that you sell, or if you do have online shopping, if they can shop online and pick up, these are all the keywords that you're going to want to include in your listing so that they can find you when they search, depending on what they're searching for. So this will grow and evolve as we move forward, and we'll just make it easier and easier for residents to buy your products or use your services. So there's also categories here as well. Not all of those will be able to be covered right now under the health emergency, but they're there. So what we did was we took all of the entries that we were given so far and we uploaded them. Soon, if you did submit your business, you will receive a password so that you can actually log in and make changes to your own listing. So as if you have specials or photos you want to add of products that you've got in, you can add that right to your own. By tomorrow, I will have a full update and I will have the business directory launched, and we'll just work through any little glitches. For now, if you're a business owner who has not submitted your business, you can still do that through the form. You can do that through the form, and I will put the link below this video, below this YouTube video. So I do encourage you to submit there. If you're having trouble with that form, you can also submit your information via email to info@cbachamber.com. And yeah, I hope you have a great night and stay safe.